Hello! I'm not even going to do a long intro. This is going to be a quick little vlog where I'm going to talk about things that have been happening over the past week. And yeah, it's noon UK time on a Tuesday. I am Bez and I am doing my vlog. So hello, well, whether it's afternoon or evening or whatever it is, and what has been going on. If you're watching this, then firstly, I hope that you're well. I'm generally well and healthy. I've had my second vaccination. That was yesterday. I'm feeling generally okay. I've definitely got a sore arm. I am feeling a little bit fatigued, but definitely not as bad as the first time I got it. Yeah, and I'm feeling very able to do work and be creative and stuff. Now let's talk about, and obviously I hope that you're well if you're watching this after the fact, or if you jump in, let me know how you are. So, what have I been up to? The first thing that I really want to say is about a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. So this is what the creatures look like. There's a whole bunch of different creatures. You have 5 out, you pick a random one, and then you make the noises for it. And this is a copy that I'm going to give to a special friend, and I've been colouring in a bunch of the cards. I was really blown away by how much people enjoyed this game at UK Games Expo. And yeah, if people want to get these cards to colour in themselves, you can. The lighting isn't the best. It is kind of quite trippy colouring that I've done. But yeah, someone at UK Games Expo was telling me, oh, I don't feel like I could colour it. I would like it as a colouring book because that's what it's intended for. And then for them, I actually did a special thing where I wrote down, you are allowed to colour this game on, I think, the first card. And yeah, if people do start colouring them in, I would love to see what other people will do with it. Anyway, people were loving this game. And what I've decided, I was chatting to Dina, who is giving me a lot of marketing advice. Dina's being my marketing person. And we've decided that we are going to run the Kickstarter from the 31st of August. And so that is a big bit of news that I have for my own personal stuff. And thank you, Fragilitis, for following along. It is lovely to have you join us. And yeah, to anyone who's watching this after the fact, yeah, if you get these, then feel free to color them in or play with them in the black and white format. Or some people said that they would use them for their own D&D things, but I hope that people just enjoy making noises, and however you use it, honestly, however you use it, as long as it brings joy to you, then brilliant. And I'm going to be asking people which of the monsters they prefer. There are 80 unique monsters, so we're going to be getting rid of 20 of them. So that way we'll keep the best 60, and I'll redraw a whole bunch. And so the game will be even better if you liked it before. What else is new? Let's talk progress. What progress have I made? Yeah, basically just doing wee bits of that. Let me talk about the ELL deck contests. So I have started playing through them. I'm going to be playing maybe through another game later on today with Sarah. I am going to be playing every Wednesday a whole bunch of different games for the ELL deck. And every Wednesday and last Friday as well, even though it was off camera, I've been trying out variants to see how they get along. My first step is to play everything, make sure that I've played it correctly. I've got a note from a couple of the designers that I definitely got at least 2 of the games wrong. Maybe it's my bad, maybe it's their bad, maybe the rules are badly written. Hey, it doesn't matter. It's not about attributing blame. It's just about me making sure that I am experiencing the game they intended. And then once I've done that, then I can start giving real suggestions and saying, oh, well, what about this? Have you considered this? Have you considered the fact that the numbers on the ELL deck are kind of weird? Like, you don't get a higher number if it's a more difficult letter. That is one thing that I really need to tell people. What other progress has there been? Yeah, just about the game design contest. I guess prototyping. I did a little bit of, a quick game design with someone that I met for the first time, but it might come to something, it might not. That's the thing. Like with all these games, you start a lot of stuff, and maybe it works out, maybe it turns into a great game, maybe it doesn't. It's all good. So, next bit. Games played. Let's talk about the games I've played. And let's start by talking about the couple of games that I played last night. Firstly, Scare It. Scare It is a game by Strawberry Studios in which you've got a grid of cards. You've got a whole bunch of cute cats and dogs and mice in 4 different colours. I'm a real fan of the art, even though the one thing I will say is that orange and yellow are a little bit too similar for my liking. I mean, sure, you can tell them apart, but given that there were only 4 colours needed, when you've already got purple, blue, okay, go for orange. Why not make this one? I don't know. Maybe make the orange a bit more red. Maybe, it just feels like they could have kept these things a little bit further apart, but they do have these little symbols in the corners. Anyway, so the way the game works is you get a couple of these secret objectives. So this means I want to protect the dogs and I want to protect blue things. So during the game, cats adjacent to mice will be able to scare off the mice. Dogs adjacent to cats will be able to scare off the cats. Elephants adjacent to dogs will scare off the dogs, and elephants are scared by the teeny little mice. Where's the mouse? There we go. Cute wee thing. And hello, Rob. It is lovely to see you. I am just talking about Scare It, which the details for the game are there. It's by Strawberry Studios. We played it. I think it's like lots of games, the thing about this game is that if you had more than 2 players, there would be more chaos. Also, the whole hidden objective thing, there are only 4 possibilities. So as soon as you've got 4 players, what's the point in it being hidden? It's like, you know that you've got to have more things of your set than any other. It doesn't matter. It's not like in 2 players where there's a little bit of hidden deduction. Okay, fair enough. You don't know exactly what the combinations are. You can't exactly work out how many points are. But I've played it with 3 players before, and it just felt not as nice as the 2-player version, and I have low expectations of the 4-player version. It just, I don't know, makes me... It's one of those games which, hey, I guess they expanded it, and they say on the back of the box, it's 1 to 8 players. There is a solo mode. I might try it. There's 5 to 8 player mode where you have to make teams, and if it's 1 to 8 players, how does 5 and 7 work? Because 6 and 8, I understand how you can get teams with that, but then anyway, it feels like them putting things onto the box that should not be on the box, if I'm being critical. But yeah, that's me. And yeah, what have you been playing, Grob? How are you generally? Are you doing well? I hope that you're generally well. The other published game, I should say, that I've played is by the same publisher, What's Up? And by the way, I want to be clear that I did gain enjoyment. I would very happily play it again as a 2-player game, and I will, What's Up? This is about flipping over cards and trying to make sets. So you've got a bunch of birds. On the back of any card, it will be something similar. So it might be the same color, it might be the same number. So on the back of this, you might have one green, or one yellow, or one purple. Alternatively, you might have two reds or three red. There you go, three red. And so you've got a little bit of a clue. At the start of the game, you want to get one of something, and if you flip over a one, then you're more likely to get it. So there's a one. So if I were to flip this, you flip it over. If you can take it, you grab it. If you can't, then the next person can flip it back over and be like, boom, haha, you wanted a one, but you didn't get a one, so I can flip it back over and grab a one, which is useful to me. And then there's a little bit of asymmetry, which is interesting in two players, where I might start thinking, okay, I can flip over the two of green because I would like the two of green if there's and I'm happy to take the two of red, but they can't take the two of green yet. So if I flip it over, then they can't flip it back, because the thing about flipping it back does mean that when you're playing with 3 or 4 players, again, this is another game that felt a little bit too chaotic for my tastes, and it felt a little bit too much like when I played it 3 players with Chris and McCall back in the day. It felt like the person who won was basically winning because of the person before them, the player to your right. But it is such a cute game, and I do adore the artwork by it doesn't say on the instruction card, by Magdalena Markowska. This is just beautiful. And Rob says, I've played nothing since UK Games Expo, but I have been learning how to make yerba mate. Wow, is that a type of tea? That sounds fantastic. And yes, it definitely looks very cute. Now, I'm going to start a regular section where I go through a whole bunch of photos that I put on Twitter. And this is going to be a little bit of a show and tell. And just a sec. Sorry about this. Okay, here we go. So Tuesday was lovely. And Wednesday was great. I had Chris and Layla over, but then Thursday I was feeling a wee bit down. And it wasn't just about, it was like, I made this one thing, but then I underproduced it. Oh my gosh. Now I'm kind of feeling bad about it, rather than feeling great about selling out of a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. Somehow I felt bad about it because it was like, Bez, you guessed this wrongly. But then I had a chat with a lovely person. I went outside, I had a walk, and then I saw some wonderful things. Firstly, I was wandering around and I saw this amazing snail. I think just seeing snails on a wall, it is just wonderful. And then we've got, I got myself a takeaway. I was feeling a wee bit down. The takeaway helped a wee bit. It was very nice. The prawn toast was good. The seaweed's always good. I love prawns in general. But yeah, it did perk me up a wee bit. But yeah, Friday was lovely. I had some trouble getting out of the house, but here's the lovely Elliedix, who makes great games. And I think this is a great photo of Elliedix smiling. You can see one of Ellie's prototypes. This is a dice placement thing, as you might assume from the squares and the dice that are scattered around. It was just a great giggle. And more than that, it was great seeing David, Brain, and Ellie together. This was me testing one of the games. We realized that, hey, wait a minute. If you're playing to win, you're going to put everything in the step like this. Okay, you can only have 4-letter height. So that 4th card, we changed it and we said, okay, this is not good. this game is all about shifting things. So it's not just about having things in the right place, but also shifting them up and down. And don't. We weren't sure whether that was a valid word or not. Fitted. This is a game where you're working on a communal grid, and it felt very much like when David made a really good word, fitted, it was because I tried to make a word that wasn't actually a word. And so David benefited from me, and then Ellie's kind of feeling a bit left out. And so we realized it really should be a two-player game, which is, I think, a lot of games when there's people on one communal board and then you're moving things around and then people have different scorings. I feel like those games do shine best at two players. Yeah, speaking of What's Up and Scare It. Anyway, this is David's game. It's about the quadannual sporting event. So there is no mention of what name this might be, because David wants to avoid litigation, but this is the sporting event, the super special sporting event, and it was all about bribing judges and trying to get things, and it's very interesting playing a design, not just because of the game itself, but also because you learn something about the person. Coming back, snails all over the garden. Let me go back. Just so many snails on top of snails. Can you see that? Snails on top of snails, climbing the wall. There's a close-up of a snail. I mean, I'm not a big fan of them going around the garden and eating things, but they are just lovely looking creatures. And there's a big slug in the background. Maybe they're friends. But yeah, all the snails. Saturday, I had a lovely day in the park with friends, and then Sunday I didn't really do anything of note. Monday, I got my vaccine. I had a friend over. I got all these donuts. I had lots of these donuts. My friend also helped me. And also I cooked a healthy dinner. That's everything that I ate. And then here, if in case you want to see Scare It, that is how you set it up. It's a great game, and I would definitely play it again. As you move things over, empty gaps appear and it falls down. It has a little elements of strategy and foreplanning, and okay, I really like elephants, so therefore I'm going to get rid of mouse. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want my opponent to know what I am. Hey, wait a minute. I need to remember what my opponent is. I think that two players, it's just a great game. And What's Up? It's a little bit simplistic for our taste, but we had a bunch of fun with that. Anyway, so that is my photo collage, a parliament of snails. I've not heard that expression. Is that what you call a group of snails? Huh. Or are you just being facetious? And apparently, going back a moment, yerba mate is a bit like tea and very popular in parts of South America. I've been getting a lot of great advice from Nicholas. I assume this is Nicholas Strachia. And that reminds me of Mate Rancho. I don't know if you're familiar with Mate Rancho, which a very strong tea and is, it is leaves, it is boiled in water. And then when I was at Chayofna, you could just get another infusion. It's always good. Okay, so I've talked about progress. I've showed my photos. Again, Rob, I hope you're generally well. UK Games Expo. Yeah, I'm going to delete this banner, but hey, I'm still recovering from UK Games Expo. I feel like, wow, I still haven't unpacked. I've still not gotten my stuff out of the way. I am, needing to organize my stuff, but what do I need to do? I need to start preparing for the Kickstarter for a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. I'm going to try and work out which are the 40 creatures that people actually like, and then the 40 that I'm not sure if people like or not. Then I will puts it up to a vote. Say, hey, do you prefer this one or this one? This one or this one? Blah, blah, blah. And then half of them will be chucked away. That's something that I want to do. I also am going to do a wee bit of colouring. I think I've got like 10 cards left to colour, and then I'll have coloured in every card from my lovely, lovely friend McCall. I'm planning to do a lot more testing of the ELL deck games. I want to celebrate, actually, maybe I should do one more quick celebration in case people haven't already seen the amazing typographies that people have come up with for the ELL deck. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to just playing more of these games. I'm looking forward to my birthday that's coming up on Friday. I've arranged an escape room. It was on offer. We're going there on Thursday. My actual birthday, nothing special is happening. Saturday, some people are coming over for party games, social games, and Sunday I'm having maybe one friend over, which is Layla, and also in the evening I've been invited to do a talk about getting stuff done. I am super excited about that. So yeah, that is some stuff that I am looking forward to. What stuff are you looking forward to? Feel free to give a shout out to whatever stuff you're looking forward to. Meanwhile, I'm going to quickly show off some more pictures. This is the ELL deck typography competition. So, firstly, we've got some beautiful mushrooms, some green storybook style letters from Emily Shaw. Sorry, Emily Shaw. So this is Emily Shaw, Parts of Brain Crack, and yeah, every letter has mushrooms. I just think this is fantastic. The second thing to show off is Paul Finch. And Paul Finch has done some lovely... Yeah, let me actually share some links so that people can see all the links in the YouTube comment. So that is one of Paul Finch's things, and Paul Finch's thing is also on Behance, but it's all about, little woodland creatures, and this is just really charming. Let me... Yeah, Emily just wanted that. So that's from Emily. Then we've got something by Alex Cannon. So Alex Cannon designed this, which Alex's idea was that each suit would be a different color. So rather than having a pattern or a board in the middle or a border, the suit would be represented by the color of the letters. And this is a really cool idea. And it does look really fresh. The black background makes it look a wee bit different. I also wanted to have a look what it looks like on a white background. But yeah, that is from Alex Cannon, who I think also did a great job. I think everyone here did a great job. This is from Chris. So Chris works for me. I told him, hey, please make something. They're not eligible to win, don't worry. I just wanted to see something from them. And here they've got long exposure photos, moving around, light shows, a bit of energy into the shapes that the original ELL deck typeface was. Here, you've got Joanne. So, lovely friend Joanne. I'm actually... Yeah, hopefully don't... Oh my gosh, I need to put a space between those two things. So firstly, if you want to check out on Instagram, there you can. And if you want to check out on Twitch, then that is also an option. And Joanne is a lovely friend, musician, and thought, hey, maybe Bez wants letters that are based on cats. This would be a cool idea. And I do really like the L and the C, especially on the second version, with the cat lying on its back. And yeah, it's just cute and it's lovely and it makes me smile. penultimately, I think this is penultimately, Jack Briggs Miller is doing macro photography of various gems, and Jack Briggs Miller used the photography to be the textures. So this, for example, is jasper, this one's jade, and again, each suit would be a different color was the idea here. It with this one and Alex's one, I really like the textures. I like the idea of having a photo in it. I like the idea of compositing these things. And the yellow is definitely my favorites, even though you might say, oh, I should enjoy red. I wish that there was the... I mean, I'm not totally sure how I feel about the typeface. Like, in the way, like the letter shapes, they aren't that exciting, but they are really, you know, it's a good font, it's readable, and yeah, it's solid work. And so let me quickly share links to Jack Briggs Miller's stuff here and on Facebook if you want to check them out there and there. And finally, we've got something from David Waldman. And so David Waldman, who does some comics and also some game design, came up with this sort of 70s inspired font. I like how here there's a bit of a variance in line weight. Hello again. And yeah, sorry I was away, and I am going to try and pick up where I left off if I can. This is all down to my internet being a little bit shoddy right now, which is aggravating, but hey ho, that's the way it is, I guess. Okay, so there we go, David Waldman. I love this. I love the loops on this, and yeah, just I do think that the E is a little bit too, like the E could look like an M or a W when you see it from the other way around. I think that the C and the D look a little bit too thin in terms of the general line weight of the structure. I think that that could have been thickened up. But generally, I like the 70s vibe, and I enjoy the, swirls and everything going on here. I think it's wonderful. And then this is the final version where David has put in a rainbow effect, and then those swirls become some sort of metallic texture, and it's just like, wow, this is cool. And so that is the typography contest, where we'll talk about that another time. But to remind people, I'm going to judge them based on legibility, theme, and visual appeal. I will either pick a winner tomorrow, or maybe I'll give it a little bit of time and pick a winner maybe next week. But I want to say to everyone who's been part of that, thank you very much for all the work you've done. So that hopefully tells you a little bit about what I've been up to. And yep. So to recap, a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises is going to go onto Kickstarter at the end of the month. It will be a very short Kickstarter. So if you want a copy or if you want multiple copies, then pay attention for it. I am going to be putting up things for me to colour in one of your creatures, if you would like to have one creature that I've quickly coloured in like that for you. Or if you see me at a future convention when I'm not busy, then I will do it. Finding me when I'm not busy might actually be a bit of a challenge, but yeah, if you want me to colour a couple in, that will be a pledge level. If you want some of the original arts, that will be a pledge level. If you want multiple copies, or if you want to say, hey, I want a creature that's based on my weird, wacky description, then that is something you will be able to have at the end of the month. I'm looking forward to stuff. It's my birthday coming up. Good stuff is happening. I have a wee bit of preparation to do. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to be playing more ELL games. I'm really impressed by everything so far. It's been brilliant. There's not been a single game that I thought, what was this person thinking? All of them are really solid ideas. And so I want to commend everyone. All of the typography contest ideas, they are brilliant. And yeah, I really enjoyed both of these games. And although I do feel like they are probably best with 2 players. And I will probably get rid of both of them within the year because I'm trying to get rid of 90% of my games. Anyway, that is me. I have been Bez. And if you're there, I will give you about a minute where I ask, it's over to you. What are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. So if you are there and you would like to share something that's exciting or boring or serious or frivolous, just go for it. Or if you're watching it on the YouTube, like, what is exciting you? And do you like whimsical creatures? Like, what's the real creature that you think is the most weird and whimsical? I think that the real creature that I think a lot of sea creatures are pretty weird. I think narwhal. I'm going to go with narwhal. I think narwhal. I think horns are pretty cool. I'm just realizing that I never drew any horns at all on any of these creatures. Wow, I should have something with more horns. Maybe I'll do that for the next edition. But yeah, if you want to find me, then I am Stuff by Bez basically everywhere. Stuffbybez.com, stuffbybez.bigcurtle.com is where you can buy my stuff. Twitter.com/stuffbybez is where I tweet a lot. Instagram.com/stuffbybez. I share pictures. I'm going to start sharing stories and letting people vote between these things. Twitch.tv/stuffbybez for the live streaming. YouTube.com/stuffbybez if you want to watch the old episodes. And stuffbybez.com/discord if you want to be redirected. Thank you to everyone who's part of my life, everyone who's supported me, everyone who's watching this. Thank you, Rob, for popping in. You are all super awesome. And if you want to check out when I'm next streaming, check stuffbybez.com/streams. Ow, my arm. And yeah, I am streaming in about 4.5 hours. I am planning to hopefully work out how to do an ELL game online with Sarah from Big Girl Games, and at 8 p.m. we will be playing a couple of older ELL games. So yeah, if you like playtesting then and want to see how we manage to do something, it'll probably be a co-op game that we try. Share, spread the word. I will try doing a wee raid. And lots of love to you, Rob. Have a fantastic afternoon. And let me check on Twitch where it is suitable for us to raid into. Oh, Idle Michael. What's his Idle Michael doing? Luigi's Mansion Free. Oh no, wait. Eternal Darkness. Okay, that's... Yeah, let's go and raid our friend Idle Michael. So, if you're watching right now on Twitch, then copy paste that message. If you're not watching live, then just bye-bye, and this will make no sense to you. But for now, all I have to say is, as always, bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, Rob. Bye-bye, lurkers. And bye-bye to anyone watching this after the fact. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Lots of love. Bye-bye.